Fife Flyers TV, sponsored by the Bay Hotel, Fife's premier wedding venue.
Well, Todd, looking back to last weekend, just what's your reflections on that 4-point weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be a very difficult weekend. 3-3 is never easy on these guys' bodies. But, you know, the heartening thing for me is we saw maybe not so great of a performance on a Friday, but we did enough. We adjusted well in Manchester, but as I told you before, we unfortunately didn't bring the points back. But on Sunday, they found more in the tanks and came out with another solid team performance and capped off a pretty successful weekend.
What's been your analysis of the start to the season? How pleased are you?
Well, obviously we're very pleased. I mean, you know, believe me, it's early and we have a very difficult month coming up, but I don't think we could ask for much of a better start. I think more important from a big picture view and from a coaching perspective, and once again, I've said this many times, is we have a good group of individuals that I certainly enjoy working with. They appear to really be enjoying their hockey just now, and it's really transferring on to the performances and the effort that people are seeing out on the ice.
Given that maybe other teams had a head start in Fife in terms of recruitment in the summer, because there's kind of that you didn't know where the club was going to be this season in terms of trying to bring players in and the place in the league and things like that. So are you surprised how great a start to the season it has been, given that you were kind of maybe hindered for a few weeks in the summer?
Well, initially I'd be lying if I said I wasn't incredibly frustrated and a bit concerned. You know, teams start recruiting in January now. It's not it's a thing that happens lots as agents start shopping their players around in January, and not to get a start till certainly mid to end May really made it a difficult summer, but one that has paid off. We ultimately ended up with the group that we have here, and you know, went down a different route along the recruitment, and picked up what appears to be a number of gems along the way.
And how pleased are you with the off-ice team as well, yourself, Jeff, you've got Ian Kelly, you've got Robert Maguire as well, giving the guys lots of off-ice sessions and things. How pleased are you with the way that's kind of turned out?
Yeah, certainly it's been a vision. You try to improve all aspects, whether it be the training times or, you know, the way guys are treated. You know, hockey's moved on so much, not only in this country but in North America over the years, and today's player grow up, you know, really taken care of, and that was something that we really strove to, not only to show the community that we work in what we do on a daily basis, but become much more structured in the form of off-ice workouts. We've always been heavily involved in the community, but show our players out and what they do, and show them enjoying themselves immersed in the community. And, you know, obviously the whole package, which ultimately really helps in future recruitment for this club. So it appears to be working very well right now, and we're happy with the progress, and the feedback that we've got from our current players has been very positive. And look, there's always room for improvement, but we're finally sitting in a position where you know, coming to the office now, it really most of the time is focusing on our on-ice performance rather than worrying about issues away from the rink or whatever, you know. So yeah, it's been a good start to the season off the ice as well, if you know what I mean.
And hoping to take that good start of the season into this weekend, at home to Sheffield and at home to Cardiff as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredibly difficult test. I think we're fortunate that they're both at home. We've been playing well on home ice, and you know, these two teams that come up here, I've said before, are both usually always in contention for near enough every trophy that's available in this league. They put together very robust and deep squads. So we're going to have to be at our best. And we've told our players that we need to find a way to up our game. And it's going to be a very difficult weekend, but fun as well, because I know they're quite looking forward to the challenge. And the good thing about having a bunch of players that haven't played in this league before is that they don't come in with preconceived notions. It's just another team coming up north, and we're looking forward to it.
What are you expecting from Sheffield Steelers, and what have you made of their start to the season?
Well, just like I said in the previous question, they're always top or near enough top of the league. So they play a very well-rounded game. They have all the tools in that toolbox, and they can be very dangerous when they're on form. So we're gonna have to find a way to disrupt them early in this building. And I think the good thing is for us is we're not changing the game plan. We'll stick to what we've been successful with, and just know that we have to up the pace a bit.
How big a statement would that be for Fife if they were to win at least like one game, 2 games this weekend against these so-called big boys?
Yeah, well, it's not something that we haven't done before. I mean, I think that it would be great to signal our intent to the league that regardless of who we're playing, they're in a hockey game each and every night. That's kind of our ethos, that we put the losses behind us and look towards the next game. But same thing when we win hockey games, we're not getting too full of ourselves. We have got off to a great start, but that means nothing if you don't keep it going consistently over the course of this season. So, just a weekend at a time, and they seem to be really feeling it right now. So there's no reason to feel why we won't give both these teams a good test themselves this weekend.
In terms of the league, I mean, what would you consider a success at the end of the season for Fife to have achieved in the league to be a success?
Well, it's really in all of our hands. I think that, early in the season, we were extremely disappointed last year when we didn't qualify for the Challenge Cup. That was kind of, we were a bit taken back by that, and that hurt us not only emotionally as a group, but also financially. I mean, getting to the next round, has its benefits. So we've qualified for the next round, and, depending on who we get, or regardless of who we get, I should be saying, really, is, we'd like to push as far as we can into this cup and see what kind of success we can achieve there. I think in division, we've certainly signaled our intent early against one of our closest rivals, but a fool would be one who writes off the Dundee Stars and Edinburgh Capitals, both capable teams of hurting you on any given night. So we're expecting a hard-fought conference this year, one that we definitely have been chasing after for years. That would be something remarkable for this club to bring success in that competition home. And ultimately, every year since we've came into the Elite League, we've improved our league standing. So it's important that we keep fighting our way up this league table. And early on, we're sitting okay, but as I told you earlier, it's important that over the course of the season you remain playing a good, consistent hockey, and that's where you get your success from.
Player availability this weekend, who's out injured?
They look pretty good. I know we have some bumps and bruises, and we've given a couple guys days off this week, but it's my hope that we have a full lineup for both games this weekend.
Just finally, obviously a big talking point this week has been DOPS and the way they've kind of handled a few incidents from last weekend. What's your take on that situation and on DOPS?
I don't know if it's really my place to say. I know that a couple of years ago, even last year, I was a bit outspoken about them. It didn't really get me very far, and I felt that at times our position was a little ridiculed, and ultimately probably resulted in some heavy suspensions because we appeared to tick off the wrong people. We have a media policy about this that I think I would be amiss if I broke it. I've already had a warning about what I say about the league. I mean, ultimately, I guess all I can say is, you know, I think at times, because it's run by owners, I think that any arguments you hear publicly and imagine behind the scenes are very self-serving about an individual's team success in this league. Mine was more of an all-around argument. I guess if you looked at my old interviews, you would see that mine's ultimately about player safety. I think that not only my own players, but all players in this league and anyone's in the sport of hockey know that they're getting into a tough sport, but ultimately they have to feel that they're protected out there. And if this issue raises that and we get a satisfactory conclusion towards that, then ultimately, you know, I certainly hope that all players involved in any incidences are healthy. But sometimes, unfortunately, it takes an incident like this for it to rear its head. But if they come to a conclusion, we would certainly be in a step in the right direction. Thank you.
The Bay Hotel, where your dream wedding becomes reality. Visit us at thebayhotel.net.